Welcome back to Cash Budget Insights, where I am working on seeing if this whole cash budgeting thing really works. I'm working on tracking every dollar using a zero-based budget due to my daughter's chronic illness, as well as controlling some of my own emotional impulse spending on the really challenging days. I would love to have you give this video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. That's a free way to throw a little support my way and help this channel grow. If you haven't heard it today, I want you to know you're awesome, valuable, and have a purpose. Now let's dive in. Well, today's going to be all about reconciling online spending. Now, for me and the way our family dynamic is right now with my daughter, it is really hard for me to leave the house and go shopping because someone always needs to be here with my daughter, and it just doesn't always work that I can implement this cash budgeting method in the way that I would like. Now, I'm not a person that likes excuses, so I don't want to use that as an excuse to not still participate in the cash budgeting method. So if you're like me and have to think outside of the box, I am excited to share with you today how I handle online transactions. And if you've already been joining me for several of these, then you know I have really been trying this month in particular to dial down the online transactions, and I think I'm doing pretty good so far. I knew that last month, which was December, it was rough. I'm just gonna say it was rough, and I think it was just, holidays, last minute things you forgot. There was a lot of online spending last month, and that really motivated me this month to way dial that back. And so far, this is gonna be our second check-in, and I'm a little nervous, but I think I'm doing okay. So anyway, it is what it is. We have to deal with it. So let's get started. So this is the budget binder that I use. I do sell printables. They're linked down below if you guys want. Basically, you just print them as you need them and store them in a 3-ring binder. You can also size them down by lowering the print scale, and you can fit them into an A5 if that's what you prefer. All right, so I have my January online spending form. I'm gonna go ahead and write week 2 on this. I like to print one of these off for each week and basically close out each week on its own. And I just found that to be a little bit more uniform when I look through my budgeting worksheets. Everything is together. So my cash planning is week 2, my online spending is week 2. The only thing I don't do that with is my expense trackers. Those ones for each account that I spend money from, I just keep a running log for the whole month. So I don't have enough room on camera to actually have my expense log and writing this. So I'm going to put my expense logs off to the side and just refer to those. And I'm going to speed this up, but I'm going to go ahead and record all of the online spending I did for week 2. All right, so now that I have these all written down, which to be honest with you, I can deal with this. I can deal with this amount per week. This does not feel nearly as overwhelming as some of my December online spending transactions. So this week was a little bit different, and the following weeks maybe as well, because we've had a few refund items. I just purchased some tank tops for myself. They didn't fit. So took the money out, spent it, and then sent them back. And now I need to reimburse that envelope. And I also have a transaction for Fun and Home Good that I need to do the same. So basically, I'm just going to do that part last. So we will go ahead and pull all of this money out, and then we'll go ahead and put these funds back into the correct envelope just to keep things less confusing. So the next thing I want to do is color coordinate these transactions just so they jump off the page a little bit, and I will total them up so we can address each envelope one at a time and a little bit more orderly. All right, before I total these up, I need to decide if I'm going to be rounding up or down and what I'm going to give back to the bank, because obviously I'm not going to be dealing with change. 99% of the time I round up. Some of these I round down, but I think I am going to go ahead and round down on this one. So I would give $16. So it costs $16.10, but I'm only going to give 16 to the bank. For this one, $3.84, I'm going to give 4. Grocery, $24.19, I will do 25. $13.89, I will round up to 14. This one was just $1. $18.18, I will round up to 19. $50.74 will round up to 51. Now, this is actually gasoline. I don't track that, but I do put it on here so that I can make sure it's in my tracker and updated. So I'm just going to check that one off because I have already done that. For fun, $14.33, I'm going to round up to 15. Pharmacy, $151.24. I'm going to round up to $152. And we have another gas purchase. We had some traveling to do, so I knew I was going to be spending more on gas than I usually do. And then my last one is actually an even amount of $19.95 for medical. Okay, so let me just add up a few of these. So 16 plus 152 for pharmacy will be a total of 168. Let's see, fun, we have 14 plus 19 plus 15, which is 48. All right, miscellaneous is a 4 and a 1, so that is 5. Grocery is just 25. Out to eat is 51. And then the medical is $19.95. I just went ahead and added these up and made sure that we were balanced. We didn't miss any transactions. So now that that is all set, we can actually start getting into our envelopes and pulling this cash out to go back to the bank. Let's go ahead and start with pharmacy. Pharmacy and medical are some of my bigger ones, so I'm going to go ahead and address those first. Okay, so let's grab pharmacy out. All right, so pharmacy, we need to pay back $168. Unfortunately, I only have $79 in here. So 50, 60, 70, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 168 minus 79 means I actually still owe $89 in pharmacy. So for now, we're just going to have to give back what we have. We have gotten hit hard with pharmacy lately, but that is just part of kind of what we're dealing with right now. So I still owe $89 to pharmacy. So I'm going to actually grab out my cash planning worksheet, and I like to make note of anything that I owe money on. That way, when I plan for week 3, which will be the end of this week, I can reconcile that. And that might mean that I can't give as much to savings challenges, or that I would pull from another category that I would typically give to, but I will be reconciling that when I do my cash planning. So for now, we've paid off what we can pay off, which was the $79 that was in the pharmacy. All right, then I also want to go ahead and take care of medical, which is $19.95. And I think that will be the last thing in this binder. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys how sometimes you don't have all the funds you need, but it's okay. You can move things around and just kind of think outside the box of how you can handle that. Okay, so for this one, I'm dealing with some placeholders. So I think all I need to focus on is what I still need in this envelope, which is going to be $1,454. So I'm going to do the $1,400 in placeholders. So I have 1,000, and then I'll need to get the 400 in placeholders. And I'm going to go ahead and actually put 95 in cash back to the bank, but I am going to keep 54 in my envelope. Okay, so I should still have 1,454 in here. So I have the 1,400 in placeholders, and then I have my 54 in cash, and that is going to leave us good to go in medical. Now, I could have covered my pharmacy expenses with this medical envelope if I needed to, but since I'm still going to be contributing this month to pharmacy, I'm going to see if that contribution and moving some things around will help me cover the $89 that I still owe for pharmacy. So if it was the end of the month, I would definitely try to rectify that. But since we're in the middle of the month, I still have some time to move some of the income around. So I'm going to hold off on that for now. And actually, I forgot to put one of my little IOU slips in here. Makes the whole experience of still owing money just seem a little less harsh when you have a, bunny telling you owe money. I don't feel as sad about it. So, okay, so that one is done. So basically, I think everything else for now, let me see, is in my wallet. So medical, we were able to fully do. So I'll check that off. We still owe the $89 for pharmacy. And let me grab my wallet. Okay, looks like we're this way. All right, let's see what we have in fun. I have a feeling I overspent in fun again. Okay, let's see. So for fun, I've got 40 in there. Now we owe 48, but I actually only have 40 in my envelope. We do have a refund that we are due for $26. So I have 40 in my envelope plus the 26 that were to be refunded. So technically I should have 66 in my envelope, but I owe 48. So the balance in my envelope should be 18. So let me see. I don't know that I can make. All right, let me see if I can make change from one of my savings challenges for this 20. And I think our January Grumpy Cat has, yes, 20. Okay, so let me take this 20. I'm telling you, this is a good reason to do savings challenges right here, just so you have some change and some smaller bills. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is do 10, 5, and then we're still going to be owed 16, 17, 18. Okay, so our new balance in fun is going to be 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. And that will reconcile both our refund that we were due, as well as taking care of the expenses that we owed. So we have taken care of this refund and we have taken care of that fun expense. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and do grocery because I know that's next in line. Ooh, grocery always makes me nervous, but I don't think I did too bad this week because I only owe, what was it? I only owe 25. So we have 100, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 1, 2. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to see if I can get some more change here. Let me see if anything else can be condensed in here. I don't think so. Let's see. The office challenge. Let's see. 5. Oh, yes, for sure. Okay. This kind of is killing two birds with one stone because I needed to condense these anyway, so my envelopes aren't bursting for my savings challenge. Okay, so we have 10, 20, and we'll replace that here. That'll just give us a little more flexibility with making change. Okay, so we'll put that back so we know that is good to go. So we owe 25, so this will be much easier to do with some smaller bills in my grocery. That'll be really easy to take care of. So we'll get that back to the bank. All right, so let's see what is still in grocery. So we have 150, 65, 66, 67. So 167 still in grocery. So that is really great. And I think the reason I'm still doing pretty good in this is because I did that bulk order from Sam's Club. So even though it caused a hiccup in the beginning of the week and I overdrew for my grocery envelope, it's allowed me to keep my bill down for the rest of the month. So that's been good. Okay, so that takes care of grocery. Let's go ahead and see what we can do for miscellaneous. So it looks like miscellaneous, I owe 5. Oh, good. I was like, oh, I hope I don't have to keep making change. So that is an easy one. So we have 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38 left in miscellaneous. And this is a lovely envelope. And then out to eat. Okay, this one I think I'm going to be over. Let's see what we have here. All right, so out to eat, I owe 51, and I have 10, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have $26 in here. So I am short $25 in out to eat. Forgot to mark off miscellaneous. So we are going to be negative 25. And I think that's okay because I'm still going to be giving to my out to eat envelope when I cash plan. So again, I'm going to write, well, I think what I'm going to do first is put one of my little IOUs in there. I'll be using the duck. So we'll get him in there. We have negative 25 on our tracker. And then I'm also going to be adding that to my cash planning worksheet so that when I go to cash plan, I know that I'm already at, a negative amount for out to eat. So that is negative 25. Okay. All right, so those have all been done. The only thing I still need to do is I have a couple of refund items I need to take care of. So clothing is going to be getting 36 and home goods will be getting 24. So those are both in my brown binder here. So let's go ahead. Okay, here's clothing. So clothing is getting 36. Okay, so, we have a lot of ones. All right, let's do 20, 30, 5, 6. So 20, 30, 5, 6. Okay, so let's put that in here. And that'll take care of the refund that we were due. Let me see if I can condense this at all. What do we have? 5, 10, 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's condense this to a 20. So 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Get some of these gnarly looking bills back to the bank. And 5, there we go. Okay. Oh, and 20, 40, 50. I think I will do that actually. Be a little easier to manage. Okay, so we have 102. So we have 102 in clothing, which is great because I actually am going to be doing some purchases for my boys because they're growing and not stopping. And I just can't keep up with clothes and socks and just all of the things. Okay, so that takes care of clothing refund. Next is home goods. We're going to be doing like $24 in here. Okay, so right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have $8 right now. So we are going to be adding 20 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, into home goods. So we should have 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2. $32 in home goods. Let's go ahead and condense this a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is do 2 5s. That makes it a little, those are kind of, well, let me find some that aren't super gross. This one, these look pretty good. Okay. So 32 in our home goods folder, and that takes care of that refund. So this one I make all of our bread, and I had bought something to store our bread in. And literally the week I got it, my father-in-law was like, hey, do you want this bread container I bought? It's way too big for, me and your mother-in-law. And I was like, I would love it. So I didn't even get mine like out of the package, and I just sent it back and got the refund because I definitely don't need 2 bread storage containers. So yeah, that's how that one turned out. So that was a bonus surprise. I was able to get some money put back in my home good envelope, which is great. So let's go ahead and count the cash that we're going to be depositing back to the bank. All right, so I got 192. I'm going to count that one more time though, because I feel like I was not counting that right.
20, 40, 60, 80, 10, 20, 25, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Okay, 192 will be going back to the bank for this particular online spending. Now, of course, I do have some cleanup work to do with the 89 I still owe for pharmacy and the out to eat I still owe 25, but I am going to rectify that with my cash planning for this coming Thursday. So I'm not too worried about it. And I also took care of some refund amounts. And then of course for the medical, I have a lot of money for this purchase for my daughter that is going to be spent from the savings account where this sinking fund sits. So that's part of the reason that there's only 192 here and I owe way more than that, obviously. But that is all I have for you today. So I'm going to get this deposited back to the bank to reconcile all of the online purchases that I made during week 2 that should have technically come from my envelopes. I hope you found this video helpful and it shed light on what I'm doing and what works for me. And hopefully you can take it, tweak it, and make it your own so it works for you and your family and your financial goals. Again, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.